And we are officially live. Hello to all my BC Wrestle nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Wrestle Watch, your WWE PLE review show here at BC WrestlePod. My name is Mikey, also known as El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, and joining me this evening in this torture fest is the Pleat Father himself, the Kilt Man. Thank you for being here. I don't want to do this by myself.
Oh my god, I almost have to do it by myself because you keep freezing up every few minutes. Like, it's not your audio, it's your video, and I don't know what's wrong with it, and it irritates me. Because I'm literally watching you talk on stream, doing my mod thing, see my head go, whoop, whoop, and you just go, and your voice just talk.
Yeah, apparently the wrestling gods hate me today. Okay, well, we are here to review WWE's Wrestlepalooza. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, y'all. This was a rough one for everyone involved. And,
how much longer do I have to wait until I start cussing again?
Well, I mean, this is going to be on the shorter end of the reviews, to be completely honest with you, because this was rough. Okay, so I mean, here's the thing, right? Follow us on the videos. Like, I just want to dive straight into this because this was wild to me of how bad this show was. No, I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm just like, what? And I'm just saying this. So, hear me out, right? I was mad with Wrestlepalooza. I'm like, how dare you waste my time?
I'm muted. Normally, when I can't watch something like, SmackDown and Raw, I really don't see too much until like after I watch it. Because usually my watch days are Saturdays, unless it's NXT. Then it's either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what's going on. This was spoiled during and after. And then I watched it Sunday. Literally, I watched it around noon on Sunday, my time. And I already knew everything. The only reason I even looked at it was so that way I could see a couple spots. I could see my favorite bouncy. And then that was it. Like, I told you this today. I watched it in 15 minutes because I was skipping so fast. Because it was just that boring. It was that poorly done. And I couldn't do it.
This was a rough show. So, I mean... And honestly, I was having this conversation with Minnie earlier today. I was just like, I'm going to say my thoughts at the end because I'm like, WWE, you have until the end of December to get it together. Because if not, like, we'll get there at the end of the show. But again, we got to do our due diligence, as short as this review might be. But I'm going to just let you know it's going to get spicy. We're going to talk a lot of crap. We're going to complain. There are some bright spots in here, and there's only two matches I really enjoyed, but the rest of it was and waste of my time. So, without further ado, let's just rip the Band-Aid off because we kicked things off with Wrestlepalooza with this match.
The F- match. The F- match. It was 6 F5s.
This was a waste of time for everybody. How dare they open this with that kind of match? Literally, they did the SummerSlam match that happened years ago where John Cena just got F5'd for like 10 whole minutes and called it a day.
That was it. Back then it was suplexes.
That's true. I was like, this was wasting my time. And I was just like, y'all know that we're probably going to get this stupid rematch at Crown Jewel Perth where nobody gives a flip, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, Indianapolis, you deserve better than this because this was doo-doo.
They brought Pat McAfee back for doo-doo. I hope he wiped his shoes off before he got back into his Hummer because of how shitty this match was.
Listen, this whole entire John Cena retirement tour has been a whole mess. Like, I don't know what we've been doing. I've hated this retirement. If Cena, I was like, going into this, it was like, you know what? If Cena wins, be like, damn, cool. Like, that's fine, whatever. No, I was just like, throw this whole retirement tour in the trash. I don't care anymore. The crazy fact is that the rest of John Cena's dates, they're nothing but pay-per-views now. There's no more Raw appearances, no more SmackDowns. I was just like, his final SmackDown appearance was to push this feud over, and this man got squashed. I'm just like, what the flub are we doing?
It's stupid. They mishandled the heel turn. They had to pull that plug super quick because freaking Rock overpromised and underdelivered with not just himself, but also with Travis Dickhead. And you need to be quiet. I sent my ex-wife a TikTok. Oh, that's why. Because it was from my ex-wife.
Crazy.
Anyway, I sent her a TikTok about a son trying to do ding dong door ditch. And he gets up and is about to press the button. And the lady of the house opens the door. And it's like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm sorry. I was trying to ding dong ditch you. Does your father know here? Yeah. He's right over there. It's like, what's taking so? I got caught. Run! So I text her, like, please tell me I'm not allowed to do this. I will. Anyway, Hi, Nick.
That's a myth. Yeah, hi, Nick. I'm just like, yeah, this was wasting my time. I don't care about the retirement tour anymore. This was crazy.
Wow, really, Nick?
I will ding dong ditch you, Mikey. I was like, I like to see you try. No, I was kidding.
Shit, you need to find my address first. No, wait, I don't have a doorbell.
No, honestly. And then after that, not really. I will ding dong, then tell you, hey, friend, let's hang out. I'm like, honestly, I feel that.
Hopefully,
I really, really
yeah.
do. That'd be amazing. You know, we're probably getting this rematch at Crown Jewel. I just don't care enough about it. Like, Indianapolis, you deserve better. This was ridiculous. It's like, throw the whole retirement tour in the garbage.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this match was garbage. They brought Pat McAfee back. The motherfucker just did a fucking jump off of the high dive at the University of Miami on live television for ESPN that morning. And he got on a plane, flew his ass out to Indy just to be there. Why the hell did they fuck up this bad?
I don't know. And I'm just like, I don't care. Nick coming in. The craziness is the fact Edge did the AA. Yeah, Edge did the AA at All Out earlier in the afternoon. Rather that feud than this one. What feud? We got Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam to beat up Cena gets beat up by Lesnar. Ron Killings gets beat up. I'm sorry. R-Truth gets beat up by Lesnar because he's not Ron Killings no more, which is stupid. And then we get this match, and then it's the SummerSlam repeat. I was just like, I don't care. Why is this the thing? We're probably getting a rematch at Crown Jewel, which I'm mad at, and it is what it is. We're going to talk about the main event because I'm also mad that we, about how we got there, but it is whatever. Exactly, Nick. We don't, like, the writers and booking, Brock still never explained beating Cena up. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, he did not. And we probably never will. And I just don't care enough anymore. I was just like, we all know why.
It was in
let's
perfect.
We're not done.
Perfect camera view. What's funny is I saw a TikTok that said that Nick Khan was looking at Cena in disgust as Cena was walking off. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not even looking anywhere near Cena. If he's looking at that fucking sign, it's like, it's true. Lesnar shouldn't be here. Period.
Brock's passive aggressive without being passive, just aggressive. I'm just like, he's just aggressive in all the sense of the words. We know what he did. We don't need to rehash it here. But again, I just don't care. This was, I'm gonna be so for real. Honestly, I thought if nothing else dethrones it, this is by far my worst match of the year. This was not great. And how dare they open? Here's the thing. If this closed the show, I've been like, you know what? Still mad. But at least it's done and over with, and I can go on with the rest of my day. No, this left a sour taste in my mouth, and I had to sit through the rest of the show. And I was just like, how dare you do this to open up the show? What the flip were we thinking? It's so frustrating. But we move on from this match into another match, which I was trying to figure out why the hell did we have LA Knight guest referee this match? Because I was like, he didn't need to be here. Like, what the? So we get this tag team match, the Usos versus the Vision. So it's the Usos versus the Brawns, right? And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, okay. So I think, and thankfully I got it right because I picked the Vision. I picked the Brawns to win here. Everybody else picked the Usos. I was like, okay, you know what? Vision's going to win this one. Then we get a rematch down the line where the Usos win, and then we do a blow off. You know what? Because a trilogy is always what we need, right? This match suffered from the fact of what came before it. And then I'm like, one of the Usos, I was like, how are we bleeding? What the flip happened here? Why are we?
I think when Jay went to hit Braun Breaker in the back, either the way he angled it so that way he wouldn't hurt Braun, basically it nicked him either on the way down or on the way up, and that's why he started bleeding so bad. And that's probably the reason why they had the Braun's win, so that way they could get him help because he was bleeding so much from that accident he couldn't see.
Very fair. And honestly, like, that part is not what baffled me and made me mad. What made me mad was the fact it was like, why is LA Knight guest refereeing here? Like, we did not get this on the Go Home Raw. This was the day of. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just have LA Knight on there. I was like, why? He added nothing to this match. He didn't attack the Usos. He didn't get back at Jay or, for spearing him and all that stuff. He's not fighting the Vision. Like, LA Knight was a waste of a use here. And I'm just like, why was he here? I don't get it. Like, the match itself was fine. Again, it suffered from the fact of Cena and Lesnar coming before it. So this crowd was already over it before the rest of the show went. And that's unfortunate because then The next two matches we gonna talk about, I felt so bad because I was like, Indianapolis, I know y'all are in your feelings, and I understand why we ain't hyped up for the next two matches. I get it. But at the same time, I was just like, y'all got to get into it. So these boys were in a tough spot. The Braun Brawns pick up the victory over the Usos here, which means to tell me, all right, well, we're probably going to get another one, or I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with Jimmy and Jay and LA Knight. Like, they keep going around dancing each other, especially Jay and LA Knight with the Braun Brawns. And just when I think, oh, okay, the Wrestlepalooza is over, so we'll probably do something with Punk and Seth and then call it a day. No, because Punk is going to be tied up with flipping Cody Rhodes going into Crown Jewel Perth, and then we can get back to it. I was like, so you mean to tell me for the next 3.5 weeks, Seth is being held hostage in the stupid Crown Jewel Championship feud that nobody gives a shit about except for WWE? And I'm just sitting here and I was just like, why must you do this to me? WWE, stop playing in my face. I'm so over the mediocrity. I felt so bad for this match. I wanted it to be better. LA Knight did not need to be here. The cut was unfortunate. Braun Brawns win. These four are going to be held hostage and not progress anything until Crown Jewel Perth is over, which makes me very, very upset. Moving on. So, hands down, the best match of the night. Will not argue. I will not fight you on it. This is easily, hands down, my match of the night. And I feel so bad because the crowd should have been way more into this. But the fact of that we had to sit through the last two things, I understand Indianapolis. But my God, Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, once again, WWE's women's division is carrying the company to any sense of relevancy right now, and still are being treated like second-class citizens. Like this, I'm gonna be so for real. I was like, this should have main evented. I'm gonna be 100%. You make this the main event. You send the crowd home happy. Like that is what we needed.
Let me also remind everyone watching: Stephanie is now the first Latina woman to hold this title.
Facts. It's crazy. She is only one of, and now get this because someone else reminded me this. She's only one of 3 period superstars to ever become any sort of world champion in this fucking federation and company, which is wild to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is crazy. And to make it a fact too, she's the third like foreign like person to hold a world championship in WWE, which is even crazier to me. I was just like, because Ray was a champion, but Ray is from here in the States, so like
Ray and Dom are here. Well, so Ray, yeah, because he's world champ. He's been a world champion. He's from here though. Yes, he's lived in Mexico for a bit and did a little bit of lucha in Mexico, but still, he's from the U.S. Eddie technically is, if I remember right, he's from California, if I'm remembering right,
something like that. But
I think the only other one I can think of that's like I'm trying to like I'm picking my brain of world, and it's hard because again it was the Vince era, which wasn't much better than here. At least now we actually have like serious women's wrestling, not just fucking bra and panty matches and fucking glorified Jello matches. Like, come on, this I'm out of words because it's like I'm so upset by how shitty this was. You could have put the next match first and this match last, and it would have been a whole lot better. Hell, you could have gotten rid of the first fucking match.
No one wanted it. They gave it to us. Like, we didn't want that first match, but the fact that first match is what we got and how it transpired was crazy and like stupid. But back to this match again, hands down, this was easily my match of the night. Io and Stephanie went out there. They were awesome. These two, I want to see them fight again. But let me tell you that also, like, I know I don't want to be that person on the internet, but, the internet agrees that this was hands down their favorite match of the whole entire card, too, which I was like, that's not the part I'm mad about. What I'm mad about is this, like, Stephanie Vaquer did not do a moonsault. It's called the spiral tab. What the commentary has been saying it ever since she's gotten to main roster. I'm like, that is not a moonsault. Stephanie did not steal Io's move. What the fuck are you talking about? That spiral tap, though, ooh, that thing was a thing of beauty. And she got some distance and some height with that. I was like, it was so good. But these two hit hard. This was awesome. Stephanie is your new women's world champion. It's so crazy how fast her star has risen since coming over to WWE. And within the span of 6 months or so, 7 months at this point, she was double champ, as she was NXT Women's North American and an NXT Women's Champion, and now she is Women's World Champion. So excited to see where the championship reign of La Primavera goes, but I don't trust WWE enough to do right by her. We saw what happened with Io, and it made me mad, but damn, Stephanie versus everybody on this roster is going to be amazing.
It is, and like only thing I really want is, even if all they do this for is PLE matches that Stephanie has, is just, can we have Booker on the commentary for that match, please? It's so much fun. But yeah, I digress.
So easily, hands down, my match of the night. This was amazing. Both of these women killed it. And I'm gonna be real. This was a close second for me. This was my second favorite match, but it was very, very close between this one and the previous one to be my favorite match. I think
the only thing I did interrupt, but the only thing that could have made this better is if they four-way kissed.
That would have been hilarious. I think what kept this from being my favorite match is because the first half was slower paced, because it was used to set up what we got in the second half of the match. I feel like if we cut like maybe 5 minutes off of the beginning, then I would have been like, you know what, this is probably my favorite match. But man, this mixed tag team match was awesome. So this is CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Becky and Seth's entrance coming down like SpongeBob in the SpongeBob movie when he was the wizard at the very end.
Didn't catch it. Here's the funny, I didn't catch the entrances for this match because that's how quickly I was trying to skip through, because I knew what the ending was, and I knew everything but that part. And then today I started catching the SpongeBob references, and I was trying not to howl and cackle really loudly because that would look weird at work, but damn God, was that funny.
Yeah, I was just like, this is hilarious. This is crazy. This was so much fun. And I honestly think, again, and this is how you do a match that, propels the feud between Becky and AJ and Seth and Punk, like on an individual level basis, right? But this is also fun. I had a blast. Like, this is what I want from wrestling. Sometimes wrestling just needs to be fun. And this was a fun mixed tag team match. AJ and Punk do pick up the victory here, deservedly so. So I'm very happy that AJ is back. This was a fun match for everybody to watch. And I look forward to seeing what we do with AJ and Becky and Seth and Punk down the line. But again, we're going to get to it. We'll get into it right now if we talk about our main event, because this is going to have some, because what we got on the post show, we know where we're going with Seth and Cody, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But main event time for Wrestlepalooza. We got, and again, we didn't find out until literally the go home SmackDown, where it's just like, oh yeah, we forgot to tell y'all this is going to be for the championship. And I was just like, I mean, that doesn't change my predictions, but I don't know why we waited to this. So here's the thing, right? The match itself was not bad. It was pretty good. It was a solid match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I actually really enjoyed this match. This was my third favorite match, which unfortunately by default, because I didn't like the Usos and the Brawns, and sure as hell did not like Cena and Lesnar. Here is my couple issues with this match. Number one, I'm going to be so for real. Even though I picked Cody Rhodes to win, I would have been like, ooh, if Drew McIntyre won, I'd be like, baller down. It's give something more for Cody, because now that he has taken out every man possible in the SmackDown locker room. So Cody has no other opponent at the moment. And my whole thing is, this is just like, so was Randy not available? Did we not get him screwing over Drew? Like, what's T? Like, it seems that they're going to wait till television, but I was like, no, if I was Randy, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm going to go to a pay-per-view and mess up with Drew, because you were being a little punk. You took me out, and I'm going to fight you.
They were supposed to do that, and Cody wanted that to happen, and someone vetoed it. I don't know who vetoed it, but I'm pissed, because that would have given Cody a fight for the title back, and then while feuding with Randy and screwing with his matches and having a good time that way. And it would have been an angry three-way of love and wrestling, and it would have been great storytelling. But no, some dumbass decided that it was not a good idea and fucked it up.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's crazy to hear the reports that Cody and Drew wanted Randy to be involved and set something up, and then somebody in the back vetoed it. I'm like, why? That would have been more interesting. And this goes into my big rant that I have planned at the end of this. Cody wins. He's still your champion at Crown Jewel Perth, because we got to get the champion versus champion. We're building a Seth versus Cody for the Crown Jewel. And I'm just like, I do not give a fuck. I don't care. So I'm like, so Drew's just gonna be chilling. Like, what's gonna happen? So Punk is not gonna go after Seth. Like, are we putting a pause on that? I mean, AJ and Becky got somewhere to go, but at the same time, I'm just like, why? Why are we doing this? I don't understand. Oh, it makes me so mad. Yeah,
I'm gonna go take an angry shit after this. It's like, come on.
Hey, I told you to go before we went live, but you're like, no, I'm fine.
No, because you said go. I'm like, we're going live now. I can't go now. It'll take me 5 minutes.
Whatever.
At
Anyway,
least.
that is how Wrestlepalooza ended, and I'm just like, so anybody who's been following us for a while now, when I do the report cards, the grade scale that I use is A plus to C minus for the everything, because I don't believe any show deserves a DRF. Not even this show deserves to be a DRF. The F is reserved for Ric Flair's final match. Like, that is the level of oof that we're talking about. This whole pay-per-view as a whole did not come close to that. How any pay-per-view that gets to a C minus is basically saying, oh, it's like, yeah, this is doo-doo. Don't watch it because this is bad. I ended up giving Wrestlepalooza a C because, again, the women carried the show. Stephanie and Io carried that match to be my favorite. And then, I mean, Punk, everybody in the mixed tag team match also did the damn thing. Like, they were great. But everything else was just so mediocre and predictable. I don't understand. And this is where I get on my little soapbox and my rant, right? So, in my personal opinion, I believe when it comes to a wrestling promotion and pay-per-views and PLEs, whenever you talk about, I would rather have them be either good or bad. And let me tell you why. Good means they'll be like, all right, y'all aren't playing in my faces about this. You are respecting me as a fan. Like, I can get down with that. And you know what? If this show is just like awfully bad, I'll be like, you know what? It was not the greatest. It sucked. But hey, you know what? At least we have somewhere to go, which is up. The worst thing for any company and any pay-per-view in this specific example could be, to me, it's just middle of the road, mediocre. And that's why I gave it a C. On paper, you have big names like Io, Cena, The Usos, Punk, Seth, Cody, Drew. Y'all should have me banging matches. And the fact that someone put this very, very well. This felt like a televised house show on ESPN than a PLE pay-per-view. And I'm just like, oh my God, they are actually right. And here's the thing, right? So I brought this up at the very beginning. WWE weekly programming, or at least Raw and SmackDown, because as of right now, NXT is going to be the only WWE show we cover on a weekly basis going into 2026 and the pay-per-views. But I need Raw and SmackDown to get their shit together, because if it is still mediocre by the time we get to December, I'm gonna be so for real kilt. I'm be like, okay, we're gonna turn WWE into how BC WrestlePod handles the indie shows and the international branded shows, where we only cover the pay-per-views and we don't talk about any other weekly shows, because I do not have the mental capacity, nor do I have the bucks and energy to continue to give my time to mediocrity to Raw and SmackDown. Like I said, NXT is going to be the only weekly show at this point that we're going to cover going into 2026, which means that WWE main roster is only going to get my attention for these pay-per-views, and that's about it. Like, yep. They're draining me. And I know it's all about making money, but I was just like, how are you? I don't understand how the whole entire company is okay with just being mediocre. Hell, again, I don't like to be tribalistic, but shit, AEW All Out Toronto blew Wrestlepalooza out the damn water. Now, All Out Toronto had too many matches. We could have cut like 3 of them and it would have been fine. But the fact that AEW had solid matches through and through, told stories, we got good surprises, it was the better pay-per-view than Wrestlepalooza. And Triple H, I am so pissed off at you. I should have known better, and I didn't expect a lot. But you cannot be hyping this up to be, oh my God, we got lots of surprises, y'all. It's going to be crazy. And I was like, you gave me nothing. You gave me this was so not, and they gave me the same reasons why.
That's how bad it was.
So I was just like, this was a floppiana, if you will. This was bad. And again, WWE might have gotten loads of money out of this, but I just do not care about Wrestlepalooza. We have 2 more pay-per-views left in this year. Crown Jewel Perth is in 3 weeks. And the only reason we're covering Crown Jewel is because it's in Australia, not Saudi Arabia. That is the only reason. I guess the trade-off is we're not covering Royal Rumble as an actual review, because that's going to be in Saudi in January, which is stupid. but it is what it is. And then I'm mad because I'm like, I swear to God, WWE, if you pull this fuckery in San Diego in November, when I'm going there for Survivor Series War Games, I am going to cut a bitch, figuratively. I will cut you off like a toxic relationship. This is some bullshit. And I'm just like, the writing was on the wall when you had Brock Lesnar return at SummerSlam. Now, again, SummerSlam wasn't a perfect show, but I had a great time by the end of the night, too. Night one was okay, but combining night one and night two, overall, I had a good time with SummerSlam. And then they fucked it up. And then from there, it's just been downhill ever since. Clash in Paris was mid. Wrestlepalooza was terrible. So I'm just like, if Crown Jewel Perth is like Crown Jewel Perth, I don't want the Australian fans to have to deal with nonsense like that. It's stupid. But I swear to God, WWE, if you pull this fuckery in San Diego in November, that is going to be it. That's the last straw. We will cut you off. I will fight you it's on site. I'm so done giving the Fed my time if they're going to continue to play in my face like that. And the sucky thing is, Kilt, is that there is so much talent that I support in WWE. But the fact that this fucking company continues to give me this mediocre microwavable bullshit of a pay-per-views is kind of nuts to me. And the sucky thing is because I know the four of us, we try really hard, and we bonded over our love for WWE and the talent that's in there. But I'm so for real. I think all four of us are reaching our like breaking points, and I'm so for real. If WWE doesn't get it together by the time that John Cena retires in December at Saturday Night's Main Event, I honestly right now, I think we are going to probably just only do WWE main roster pay-per-views and just keep NXT as the only WWE show we review on a weekly basis. Because WWE,
I have to
NXT is fucking killing it right now.
NXT is always going to be great. It's always going to be a good show. I've never walked away from an NXT show, even Homecoming, which was kind of, okay, you're a little heavy-handed on this. It was still good. This is the second PLE for me. The second that I've walked away from, okay, this could have been better.
Yeah, and again, we got 2 more pay-per-views from WWE this year, as well as the Saturday Night's Main Event for Cena's retirement in December. So I'm like, these are the last 3 big things. If you mess up at Saturday Night Main Event where Cena's retiring, WWE, we only going to do the pay-per-views, and that is all the main roster airtime is going to get, because I'm so for real. I don't love reviewing Raw and SmackDown right now. I was like, we're doing it because we have to, and we're covering it. And there are some bright spots in Raw and SmackDown, but I need them to start changing it up between now and December, because I'm not giving them the rest of my time. And I don't like being tribalistic like that, but I was just like, I'm not going to waste my time, especially when all these other companies out here, both in the States and the internationals, are always giving 110%, and you can't even give me 5. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is happening?
It's insane. It's such a situation of, I'm tired of making sure I catch what I need to catch before we do our shows and watch everything, so that way I know what we're talking about outside of just being angry in general. Which, that's like 90% of my life. It's like, dude, can we just...
This is, again, I take that back. I think that this is my worst pay-per-view. I think Clash in Paris was bad because it was boring, but this was just straight bad. Like, there's no... Outside of Io and Stephanie and the mixed tag, there is nothing else good about the show. Honestly, you could skip this and you won't miss anything. I'm gonna be so for real. Like, I just go out of your way, just watch Io and Stephanie, watch the mixed tag, and then call it a day. You don't gotta watch anything else, because nothing else is worth your time. But that's gonna be it for here at Wrestle Watch. Again, this is a bit of a shorter review. And, as much as we rant and rave, we'll be back on Sunday to do Raw and SmackDown, or, complain and just shoot the shit, which is always a great time too. But let me share some stuff I'm actually looking forward to for the remainder of this week, because it's the last 2 weeks have been regular, like non-chill. No, now we're getting back into the crazy time that is, all these pay-per-views and end of the show. So why don't we take a look at what remains? I play the video. Just kidding. There we go. Wrong button. Anyways, so here's what we're looking forward to for the remainder of the week. And honestly, I feel like everything after tonight is worth more your time than what we just covered right now. Tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, the AEW crew will be here to review AEW All Out Toronto. This is like 10 whole matches. It was a long show, but hot damn. this pay-per-view won the weekend for me between this and Wrestlepalooza, hands down. So good. And we're going to be covering all the stuff that went down at All Out Toronto here. Then on Wednesday, we get our double dose of reviews at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. It is the Go Home Show review for NXT, as we will not only be reviewing the Tuesday, September 23rd edition of NXT, but we will be making our predictions for NXT's No Mercy, which is happening this weekend. And actually, that's a show I'm looking forward to because NXT always has fun pay-per-view. But then at 8 p.m. Pacific, the CMLL crew will be here to review the amazing show last Friday that was CMLL's 92nd Aniversario show, where we had somebody lose their mask. We had a hair versus hair match. We had MJF versus Mystico in a blood feud, which was nuts to watch. It was crazy. And we're going to cover it all. It's so great. Then, if you're looking for a little bit something more light, join us on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific as JVL and I and Jesse will be reviewing Mystery Wrestling 18. So this is Evil Uno's promotion that ran the day after AEW All Out Toronto. This show had it all. It had a cocaine bear. It had a tent. It had short shorts. It had baby oil and a no DQ body match. This was a wild time, and it was so much fun. And we're going to be reviewing everything. Then on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, the TNA crew will be here to not only review the Thursday, September 25th edition of TNA, but we will be making our predictions for Victory Road, which is happening this week as well. Then we wrap things up on Sunday with 11:30 a.m. Pacific with our WWE review, where we're covering Raw and SmackDown. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific later that night, I will be doing a live watch along for MLW's Fury Road, which is setting us up for MLW Slaughterhouse happening next week. But that's going to be it for us here. So for myself, the Pleat Father, the Kilt Man here, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you tomorrow for our All Out Toronto review. But until then, and until next time, peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.